Government of New Zealand for the year ended 30 June 2011.
Are there any bills for introduction? There are no bills for introduction. The House then comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of Maggie Barry.
Mr Speaker, my first question is to the Minister of Finance. What reports has he received on the economy?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, the Reserve Bank today issued its monetary policy statement for March 2012. The bank notes the domestic economy is showing signs of recovery, household spending appears to have picked up over the past few months, and a recovery of building activity is underway. The Reserve Bank expects growth in the near term to remain reasonably modest, but this is projected to gather pace as the Canterbury rebuild accelerates and underlying investment recovers. The monetary policy statement projects annual real production GDP growth of 1.8%, 3.1%, 3.7% and 2.4% for the March years of 2012, 13, 14 and 15 respectively. This is slightly stronger than the bank predicted in its December monetary policy statement.
Maggie Barry.
Supplementary. What is the Reserve Bank's assessment of the global economic situation and how might that impact on New Zealand?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Finance, Mr Speaker, the Reserve Bank says the risk of a significant near-term deterioration in global economic conditions has moderated since its December monetary policy statement. However, risks remain. It is projecting reasonable growth by our main trading partners, and that's broadly consistent with its December MPS and Treasury's recent forecasts. Australia and China are expected to grow at around 3.3% and 8.5% a year respectively over the next 3 years. This will help underpin growth in this country, with our trade and investment moving towards these faster growing parts of the world.
Maggie Barry.
What is the Reserve Bank's outlook for New Zealand's current account position, and how does this compare with the position in the 3 years to 2008?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Finance, the Reserve Bank projects the current account deficit to widen moderately over the next 4 years as imports and inward investment pick up and the Canterbury rebuild gathers momentum. The Reserve Bank forecasts the deficit to be 4.3%, 4.1%, 4.8% and 5.1% of GDP for the March years 2012, 13, 14 and 15 respectively. The good news is that these deficits are significantly smaller than the average of more than 8% of GDP in each of the 3 years to 2008.
The Hon David Parker.
Does the monetary policy statement show a lower growth forecast compared with the Treasury's lowered budget policy statement last week?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Finance, yes, the Reserve Bank monetary policy statement predicts a slightly lower nominal GDP increase because of lower expected inflation expectations that the Reserve Bank is predicting over the next few years.
Question number 2, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
To the Minister of Maori Affairs, is he satisfied with the financial management